Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 4 of the 18 and 20 meter nationals, hopefully. It is not Tuesday. I haven't updated that slide properly. It is Wednesday the 25th. Some notices from the manager. We're expecting an A320 arrival and departure this evening after flying, so please don't leave gliders or other paraphernalia out on the runway today. Otherwise, you might find it's disappeared by the morning. No dogs in the restaurant, please. And well done again for all the competitors for sticking to the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit. The manager's very happy with how that's going, so thank you. Catering, as before, tonight is curry night, so we're expecting good thermals in the morning. Social, Mark Davenport, whose band played last night. I think pretty much everyone will have heard those last night. Some really great stuff. They are planning to run an open mic night later this week. Please contact Mark either by phone or by email, or catch him on the grid to help arrange that if you are interested in performing. Again, exact night to be confirmed, but sort of later the tail end of this week. Director's notes. On some slightly more serious stuff, we're going to have a pilot safety committee meeting at the front of the 20-meter grid at 1100 this morning. Please could all pilots attend that meeting. I've had quite a lot of issues raised to us over the last couple of days about various aspects of flying, with some quite experienced competitors expressing some fairly serious safety concerns. So we just want to kind of make sure everyone's on the same page with what we're doing. That'll be run by the Pilot Safety Committee. Just remember, there's no points available before the start. We're not racing till we've started, so please don't go mad in the start zone and take care. We're all looking out for each other. I really don't want to have to go and explain to someone's family, or potentially 2 different pilots' families, why they're not coming back today. Again, similar vein, please no cloud flying before the start. We've clarified it's against the rules. We know it was some quite interesting conditions yesterday, but please really take care of each other, particularly around the start zone. It's just really dangerous. Please don't overfly the 2XL engineering buildings at very low level. It's fine to fly over them sort of 400 or 500 feet, but if you're low level and low on energy, please avoid overflying those buildings. Please land long if possible. I know sometimes you won't have the energy to do it, but please try to get down near the end of the runway. It leaves plenty of space behind you. If you stop in the middle of the runway, you're really obstructing it, both for those behind you and for those who would want to land long. And please avoid taxiing off. Again, the issue there is once you've touched down, try and run in a straight line rather than taxiing off. You can't see who's coming up behind you. And the risk is, if there's someone going a little bit faster who's landed behind you, they'll roll into you. It's unlikely to kill either of you, but we might be losing a couple of gliders from the competition if you do that. So please try and keep straight. Pilot Safety Committee, who'll be running the briefing at 11 o'clock, Ian MacArthur, Liz Sparrow and Tim Robson. On to the results on the more positive side. Yesterday was a competition day in both classes. 18-meter class on their day 3. Lee Wells in 3rd place with 121.56 kph. Ian MacArthur in 2nd place, 121.98 kph. And in 1st place, Gary Stingemore, 122.18 kph for 791 points. Well done, all of you, and please collect your wine from control. We still have some bottles left over from day 1 and 2, so please, those pilots that did win some prizes on day 1 and 2, please come and collect your winnings. Otherwise, the scoring fairies will make sure that wine is properly disposed of. On the 20 meters class, yesterday was a contest day, day 3. In 3rd place, Jack Tonkin, 101.12 kph. 2nd place, Steve Jones, 101.65 kph. And in 1st place, Graham McAndrew, 102.8 kph for 800 points. So well done, all of you, for showing us we probably needed to set some slightly bigger sectors to make sure you didn't run out of space. Cracking day out. Okay, Colin, over to you for the weather.
Thanks, Ed. hopefully I'll be able to continue my high wire act today, and we'll get something out of it. I know that sooner or later I'm going to fall off, and it's going to be catastrophic in terms of getting it wrong. But yeah, high pressure still clinging here. Over the last 12 hours, the pressure's dropped from 1,030 back to about 1,026. And we've still got this situation where the isobars are quite tightly spaced over Channel and northern France, and it's fairly breezy in that area. Over the centre of the country, less so. You can see that in here it's about 10 knots at flying heights, probably around us, and to the south of us about 15. Seems to be the order of the day, and all the models are showing that. Just thought I'd put the TAFs up again because this one changes, seems like every day. We've got scattered at 2.5 that it's going to turn into, but the timing on the low level broken cloud, broken at 1400, has moved again from 8 to 9 to 9 to 10 UTC, so up to 11 o'clock. I think it's going to be a little bit of a rerun of yesterday on that score. Take a while to sort of dissipate and start to turn into sort of usable cumulus. Upper winds, they are, I think, at flying heights on the south coast about 070, 15 knots. Along us, perhaps a little bit less, and further to the north, 050, 10 knots seems to be about right. All the models are suggesting the same sort of thing. Funny thing, talking about things looking the same, SatPic looks very, very similar to yesterday. That sort of cloud over us just beginning to thicken up a little bit for an hour or so, and then it will slowly melt away and turn into cumulus. And this solid band over the sort of Midlands coming off the North Sea, again, I think will break up fairly readily. But it's certainly showing dew points a little bit higher in and under that. Temperature-wise, again, I think very similar to yesterday. It got to about 21 degrees, and I'm working on the same sort of numbers today. I think down on the south coast, if we get to 22, that'll be very, very good. Dew points possibly slightly lower today. Numbers we're sort of looking at, dew points a little bit lower to start off with this morning, so I think we'll be down about 9, maybe even dew points 8 in some places. So certainly see less cumulus today than you did yesterday, and that's this afternoon. They're still showing this little finger of dew points lowering over here. Plugging those numbers into the soundings, and the sounding models changed about 9 o'clock this morning. The lines here have come a little bit closer together. So initially, I think all the forecast models were showing blue over us, with dew points down at about 7s around here. It seems to have come up a little bit, and pushing those numbers in with dew points around about 9. You're going to see cloud base about 3.5 above sea level, cloud tops up around 5. A little bit less cumulus, I think, than yesterday. If the dew points drop below about 8, it starts to go blue. So I'm hedging my bets both ways on that one. Soundings further north, that's the Bicester Buckingham area, a lot closer together, as you would expect under that sheet of cloud. No reason why that won't sort of come apart a little bit during the day and go up a little bit. That's pulled apart from the earlier sounding. So it's going to be okay up that way, but lower cloud base, I suspect 3,000 feet in that area there. The Larkhill sounding shows quite dry air in here and a fairly solid inversion. So once we get to sort of 17, 18 degrees, it'll have starting to show about 2,000 foot cloud base, and then up around the sort of 19, 20 degrees should be around 3. And the dew points, providing they stay around that 9 to 10 mark, you're going to have cloud base up around 1,1300 meters in there. Any lower dew points, and I say I think it is going to go blue looking at that. Top meteo, the model changed at about 9:30 this morning. So they're picking up on the fact low cloud to start off with, and then as the morning goes on, breaking up. That's 12 o'clock, and it's pretty much what we saw yesterday. I think what we'll start to see today. The difference between the top meteo 4:30 in the morning update and then now this one is they're now showing cumulus in this area here. They weren't showing that earlier, and that's probably the modeling changing slightly. I think we're going to see cumulus in here again today, but a very similar sort of picture to yesterday, perhaps not quite so high cloud base. Top meteo again. By sort of 1 o'clock, showing it about 1,000 meters, so 2.5 above Lasham, and then going up to probably 3.5 above sea level over quite a reasonable area here. So you've got a sort of quite a reasonable sized task area. Best temperatures appear to be down towards the south here, so I would suspect that's going to be the best area today, towards the south and southwest. And their suggested distance again is in that area. There we go, and it's got the wind arrows on there showing the sort of east northeasterly, perhaps a little bit less than yesterday, so might see a bit of streeting as well. Fingers crossed. Another reasonable day. Okay, Ed, so back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Colin. Okay, so tasks for today. Task sheets again available from Robo Control, and we're just in the process of printing the final set of task sheets. We've had some hardware issues, but resolving that fairly quickly. So 20 meters are at the front today. The A task, Basingstoke West down to Dorchester for a trip to the seaside, Longbridge Deverill, Fording Bridge, Bullington. Obviously, what we're trying to do there is make best use of the wind and also where we think the best air is going to be. And you saw from the forecast, likely to be best down there. It's been clear down sort of down towards Dorchester pretty much all morning. They haven't had this lower cloud, so it should be a bit warmer down there. The fallback task, task B, is basically similar sort of direction, just dropping the distance back a little bit and not going quite so far south. And that's if the weather doesn't perk up in time to get you away on the A task. And then just in case it is better to the north rather than to the southwest, we've got a C task that'll take you up into kind of the northern bit of South Hampshire and then down into Wiltshire, getting down towards Trowbridge for if the weather's a bit better to the north. Very similar task for the 18 meters. Again, going down this time to Cerne Abbas for a trip to see the Giant, and then back via the Park and Fording Bridge for 250 kilometres. The B task, again, minimum distance down to the southwest if the weather doesn't perk up quite as quickly as we'd hoped. And then a C task to the north if the weather's different in that direction. Not quite the same task, but very similar sort of shapes. So you should be able to make use of the other gliders flying around. Over to Colin Rule for the airspace.
Thank you, Ed. And good morning, everyone. So we'll start straight in with this. Popham is operating normally. The restrictions of the weekend are long gone. Para Old Sarum, which may well be of interest to you, is not active and it's not a penalty zone. If we go to the northern task, Para Keevil is not active and not a penalty zone. Odium APZ is always a penalty zone. The Compton box is closed. I've left the comment in regarding the Fairford Mats. If we go the northern route, there will be heavy military traffic in that area. And the airspace file has not changed. Just a heads up, there may well be a new airspace file for tomorrow. If there is, we will make sure a text goes out to give you prior notification of that. quick look round our task areas. I've drawn a few lines on here. Looking at the primary tasks, if we can call them that, and this is the general sort of flying area. What issues have we got? Well, the classic one is the proximity to Solent airspace, Middle Wallops ATZ, and the port and down area, really. They're of interest to us. A little bit of a caution regarding Bournemouth CTA and CTR as well. In this area, that circle down there, don't worry about it. It's Dorset Gliding Club having a little task week. Only 10 gliders if they actually fly. Then up here, Compton Abbas, of course, Yeovilton, if you need to get well off track, both ATZs are active. More than that, nothing much to say. You're coming back quite close to Popham, so if you are, they don't have an ATZ, but if you're going through their area of interest at a low level, a courtesy call, I'm sure will be very welcome. Running up to the north, what have we got? Whoops, where did that go? Running up to the north, then we have got the relevant danger areas, or sorry, restricted, prohibited areas up there, the nuclear sites, which you have a reduced footprint for, not shown on this little picture. Keyville, we managed to determine that that is inactive, not a penalty zone. This little circle here is not till tomorrow. Don't worry about it. It's not even relevant tomorrow. Other than that, nothing much more to say on airspace, but of course, back to the radio frequencies. There they are. Please prefix all calls with Lasham. The background of this is, well, it's good practice anyway, but Dunstable are using the same start frequency as we are, and our start line operator was hearing calls from Dunstable yesterday, and Dunstable gliders are all being very good. They were prefixing their calls with Dunstable. A lot of the Lasham people were not, and it caused her just a few issues, making sure she was getting the right call signs noted. So please, all calls to Lasham to be prefixed with Lasham. Thank you. Any questions as usual via the chat function? I'll just check with Michael. Anything?
Not about airspace.
Not about airspace. Okay, great. Thank you. Back to Ed.
Thank you very much. So airfield layout and finishing. Hopefully you're now on the grid on 09. Again, relights to the south of the runway on the grass. The buildings here labelled ATC are the ones I was mentioning not to overfly at low level. This is 2XL. And for approach, all of the tasks have a control point, and I'm going to bring you in from the east. So we're back down to a 300-foot minimum finish height. So it's not the same as yesterday. It's down to 300 foot, and you should be able to land straight in from there. If you do have too much energy, do a circuit to the south and come back in and land into wind again if possible. Okay, and then club operations, again, club operating from the north side of the airfield with the launch point there. It's really recommended you don't park out along the north side grass. Please try and leave your glider to the south. Please call 10K and finish. Again, prefix your call signs Lasham to avoid any confusion. Less likely to be a problem at the altitude you'll be at during the finish, but during the start yesterday it was a bit problematic. Please land long where possible, and as a reminder, do not taxi off, just run straight. We had a lot of gliders finishing at the same time yesterday, and we really don't want someone taxiing into someone else. We'll be visually monitoring the finishes again. Please submit your traces within 1 hour of landing. The only question we've got was around just a reminder at 11 o'clock could all pilots please go to the front of the grid for a pilot safety committee meeting, just to discuss the issues we had the last few days. Also, all pilots at the front of the grid at 11 o'clock. We'll send out a text as well. First launch, not before 11. Realistically, it's probably looking more like sort of 12 o'clock onwards, but we'll keep you updated and try not to keep you hanging around too close to the front of the grid after the PSC meeting, unless you need to be there. Last launch, 1800 this evening, and next briefing will be 10 o'clock tomorrow. Thank you very much, everyone. Any final questions, Michael?
No, just leave the meeting over from over there. So just
Yeah.
someone else for the juniors.
Okay.
People will need to chance